Hey YouTube, Jason here with DayTradingFearless. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, let's jump right into it. Today we're talking about Bookmap. Bookmap's a great tool if you're trading stocks, futures, crypto, even I believe Forex too and all that. But what I like about Bookmap is essentially what we see over here is essentially what this is, okay? This is order flow. So we could see, look at this, right? We just had a huge order right here, right? Which has been here for a while, okay? These are limit orders, so they're either people who are looking to buy or people who are short, and that's where their profits are, right? So one of the things that we're looking at is as price start to fall, we see this big order with a couple other big orders while everybody else is in like the hundreds, right? You actually see 200. These earlier were a couple hundred. And what price falls, right, comes down and we bounce. We come right back down to this 30-30 level. Okay, if we zoom in, just right before it, at 30, was it about 30 and a quarter or so, and the buyers step in, right? Everybody's trying to front run this big order because what this big order reflects is a support level, right? Where it's kind of like traders like me, where I'm a contrarian, is price is falling, I'm always looking for longs. To move higher, I'm looking for support levels, right? So here's a great example of front running an order. Okay, so as price starts to fall, I would probably put an order in at 30 and a quarter and maybe look for a couple ticks or a point or something like that, right? And look at the bounce that you had off this. Then we come back down, we retest that same level, okay, pull back, and then nice big bounce again. You had all the way up to the highs about a 30, about a 6.5 point bounce up here, right, from 30 to 36. And look at this. So this order just came in, right? So maybe it's somebody who put a who's looking to buy if on any pullback, right? Or maybe it's somebody who's short who sat there and that's their profit target because there might be divergence or something like that. Or it might be somebody who's already long, and what they do is they flash a big order out of nowhere, right? And it's called spoofing, where they'll have a big order and you saw what price did in real time. Price actually started to move up and the buyers came in. So maybe they were long here on the pullback. They just came out of nowhere, flashed a big order, and all the market participants are like, oh my God, there's a support level, meaning if it goes down there, it'll absorb and maybe bounce higher, right? Act as maybe a reversal or a support level. And it's also right here at the potential double bottom of this little leg move. And you saw buyers step in and the market start to shoot higher. So Bookmap is really good for these type of orders. Okay. Now, a couple of things with Bookmap is these levels right here. Okay, the white lines are the above and below, right? It's this, show me 10 prices above, 10 prices below, and that's what it's doing. So if price falls, let's see if that order is still there. Look at that. There's a new order here, right? Let's see what happens. Okay, and we could see the order, and so what I could do maybe is potentially look for a long, right? Maybe try and front run this for a quick point. Okay, let's say at 36, and boom, you're at 37, 37.50 now. Okay, so as you saw that order come in, that big order of a limit order, again, we don't know if they're buyers or people who are looking to take profits, but one of the things is it's still there because look at this. As we kind of moved up, came back down, let's see what happens, right? It touches, fills a couple contracts there, and then bounces right back up, right? So this acted as support. Will probably blow through, right? Now this guy is no longer here. Remember, he was here. What this is whoever this was, because we're now back within that 10 range. So now it becomes like it refreshes, because once it goes above, all these levels become static, right? Until it's retested. So we could see as price came down, he was here, right? Or from here, came back down, he was here, but then on the bounce, and then more than likely, this guy just moved his order up to try and keep ratcheting up the market. So here's a way where you could have actually gone long, right? For this bounce, you could have gone long here and maybe do a couple contracts, right? Of S&P futures where you're risking maybe you put your stop right on the other side of all this, right? So maybe you're risking a point for 4 or 5 points, okay? And let's say you got 5 points on, we'll say 5 contracts. Well, that's $250 you could have made on that trade. Now look at this. Come in, double bottom, and look at this order, right? 316. Okay, I mean, there's a trade where you can even sit here and maybe go, let me get long here and look for a point to the upside, and your stop is right on the other side. Multiple different ways, but again, with S&P futures, it's all about scale, okay? I believe, I mean, hey, if you want to try and look for a big runner, go for it, but I'd rather maybe do 5 contracts and look for maybe 1 point. Okay, well, that's $250. But if you want to do 5 contracts, okay, with about $500 risk, with a 1 point risk, right? As price came down, your stop would just be, we'll say $29.50. You got long at $30.50, okay, to front run, get a fill. And if you were risking 1 point to make 5 on 5 contracts, you're talking, what is it, $255, $1,250 you could have made on this bounce right here, okay, with 1 point of risk using Bookmap. And so there are multiple different ways to trade Bookmap, but it's more a visual experience. It's a great tool for kind of seeing what's real, what's not, right? If all of a sudden you just see something flash and then we move up and it disappears, I don't like that. Usually they're not real, but look at this. Pull right back down and bounce again. This happens over and over all day long. And look at buyers here, right? They're stepping in. Now, eventually, I actually think this will blow right through, because if you keep testing multiple times, if it gets really close, it might just kind of open the trap door. Okay, but with that being said, I like here, I would have taken it on the very first bounce here, but here, I think it'll just maybe blow right through versus getting long, and there it goes, opens up the trap door. This just comes from hours and hours every day, the 10,000 hour rule of watching these trades over and over and over all day long, and just knowing how the S&P E-mini futures work. That's why after a while I'm just like, okay, we keep testing. If we come back down, we'll probably blow through. That's what we did. Took out all those orders. Again, profit target or potential longs who are long or who are wrong now, right? And all these multiple things that can happen while you're in the trade. But something like this, okay, cool. Let's see if we break above here, because we're making lower highs, lower lows. If we break above, let's see if a big order pops in, right? And again, going back to, this is just knowing markets and been watching them for years and understanding. Doesn't always happen, but there are times where you'll all of a sudden see an order and look at this, right? These are the color shades. Do people start to step in as it goes higher? And what that acts as is a potential support level on a visual basis, to where if you are long, you're like, oh, okay, hey, we're kind of going with the trend now. Okay, knowing that we were in lower highs, lower lows, now we're higher highs, higher lows, right? And maybe all that, these people right here will act as a support level. Okay, because you could see they're getting a little bigger while everybody else is at 70. We could see it here. Look at that. They're 100, 110, things like that, 109. And look at that. Comes down and bounces back up. So I hope you guys like this video on Bookmap. It's a great tool. There's a link down below in the description if you want to try out Bookmap for free and all that. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them down. But until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Oh, and then, I'm sorry, real quick, look at that. Huge order up above, right? Again, people either taking profits or looking to get short. Price rallies right up to it and then pulls back again. So one of the things you might want to do is front run. And look at that. Here comes a big order out of nowhere, 500, but then it disappears in 2 seconds. That is what a spoof is. So again, thank you for watching. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.